Hello, everybody. It is Coach Jess Lee, and I am coming on today to share with you all things resistance training. So as you're coming on here, you're like, who's this girl telling me about resistance training? I don't even know what resistance training is. I am here to let you know that I have been participating in resistance training since I was about 17 years old. Now, I didn't play sports in high school, and so I was a little late to the game. But as I learned what resistance training was, I was getting my bachelor's degree in kinesiology, master's degree in exercise physiology. Now I have my certified personal trainer cert and work as an online fitness and nutrition coach. I love resistance training, and I'm going to share with you best practices for it and why it is the optimal way to experience fat loss when it comes to choosing a form of exercise. So when I mean resistance training, what I'm referring to is lifting weights, lifting a resistance. So this could be dumbbells, barbells, machines, bands technically can be here, but I am also going to fill you in on how selecting a weight can make or break whether we're going to reach that fat loss or even just changing our physique at all. Because there are so many different types of exercise. But why is resistance training optimal for fat loss? That's what we're going to dive into right now. When it comes to choosing a type of exercise, all exercise burns calories. Any exercise you choose, you're going to be burning calories. But I could also burn calories jiggling my leg right now. I could burn calories walking across the house. While yes, having a set time where you focus on a higher calorie burn range is great, I can choose anything. And so if you're just getting into exercise, and let's just talk in the context of losing body fat and creating a toned and muscular physique, because I think that's what most of us want, then first start and just doing anything that you will do consistently. You're not wasting your time, you're still burning calories. So if you love yoga, do yoga. If you feel like you physically can only walk, amazing. All right. If you love F45, cycle classes, maybe you already love the gym. So whatever you can do to get 3 to 5 days consistently for, let's just say, a month. Once you know that you've locked in that habit, then it's time to really optimize what you're doing and turn towards resistance training. Now, why is this? We are also burning calories when we're resistance training. Cool. Again, the goal when we're losing weight is to be in a calorie deficit. I want to burn more calories in my day than I eat. And so the hope and the intention is that you're eating a consistent number of calories every day so that you know how much you have to move to be in that deficit. And if you need guidance with that, I provide customized macros and advising on nutrition in a one-on-one coaching app, which you can download. You get me for free at that level of coaching. So I will link that below. Regardless, we want to be in a calorie deficit. I could be in a calorie deficit by walking around all day. But again, this exercise moment is really great to get a big chunk of our calorie burn done in the day. However, resistance training not only burns calories in the moment, but it is changing our muscle. Our muscle is changing because we are putting a progressive overload in our muscle. And I will get to progressive overload and how to choose the weight, what exercises to do here in a second. But when we change our muscle composition, we are now changing how many calories we burn all the time because our muscle drives our metabolism. The more muscle we have, the more calories we burn all the time. This is called your resting metabolic rate. And your resting metabolic rate is about 10 times your body weight in calories. And that would be if I did nothing all day. That's how many calories I burn just existing. And if I can improve my muscle, then I'm going to improve how many calories a day I burn existing. So it's a win-win, and you're going to get a lot more out of it and also a lot more development in your physique on top of the fat loss. So the biggest piece that we need to kind of lay down here is you could be lifting weights and still not seeing results. This is one of the major things I see where you see people in the gym all the time, but why aren't they seeing results? Now I'm going to take a sip of water here. And as you know, if you're on my team, You take a sip of water when I take a sip of water. So, how do we know how heavy of a weight to grab? Because in order to change our muscle, we have to challenge our muscle enough to break it down so that it can actually rebuild stronger, denser, and bigger. By the way, when I may say your muscle is getting bigger, it is literally impossible to get bulky if you're in a calorie deficit and targeting fat loss. Now, if your goal is to gain muscle, you will need to be in a calorie surplus. This is why I also provide calorie and macro help in my one-on-one coaching app. But do not worry when I say get your muscle bigger, you are not going to get bulky, especially ladies who are worried about that. So how are we choosing the right weight to actually change our metabolism and our physique? Progressive overload is the key here. We need to be challenging our muscle enough. And so in the context of a regular gym, but you can also be doing Orange Theory, F45, right? Pilates technically has weights, but I'm going to show you why that's not going to improve your metabolism. There are 4 ways that your muscle can perform. There is muscular endurance, the way your muscle can develop. You can develop muscular endurance. You can develop muscular hypertrophy or size. You can develop muscular strength, that's density. And you can develop muscular power, that's explosiveness and speed. So our muscle can develop all these different quote unquote skills. And all of that depends on how many sets and reps we're doing and the weight we choose that's associated with that. So if I go into the gym and I say, I'm going to do 15 repetitions of this exercise, I'm going to be focusing on muscular endurance. And that's great. Now, with muscle building endurance, we're not really going to break it down enough for it to build up, because the weight that you are going to choose excuse me, that you can do 15 reps of isn't going to be that heavy, because 15 reps is a lot. And so the ideal range of reps that you're going to choose for optimal muscle transformation is going to be 8 to 12 reps. This is the muscular hypertrophy range. And this is going to be where your muscle size physically changes, thereby your muscle is burning more calories all the time. You're getting that lean and toned physique that you're looking for. So 8 to 12 reps. Just for reference, about 5 to 8 reps is going to be muscular strength, right? You're lifting a heavy weight that you can only lift 5 times. And muscular power is going to be in that 1 to 3 rep range, where you'll see big explosive snatches or hang cleans. So we're working in an 8 to 12 rep range in the context of a classic gym. Now, if you're an F45er, most of the time at F45, the interval set on a strength day is going to be about 35 seconds. And if you're moving at a decent pace, most exercises, it's about 8 reps. And so you're still in a pretty good spot. But we'll talk about HIIT training in the context of resistance training soon. So when I go to choose a weight, I could do 8 reps and be done with it. And this is where a lot of people make the mistake and don't see the results. If you are saying, I'm going to do 8 reps, you are going to choose a weight that you could do the 9th rep, but you sure as hell do not want to. All right. Now, several years ago, it was very popular to talk about going to failure versus going to fatigue. Going to failure means that you are breaking form. You are getting in a place where you are likely going to hurt yourself. And so I'm going to give you guys the bicep curl reference, where if I am doing bicep curls, if I'm doing bicep curls, this is good form. My elbow's staying still. I'm isolating. I'm only working the bicep. Okay. I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to need to lean back and use other muscles that aren't my bicep anymore to make that rep happen. That's how I'm getting an idea that I'm at fatigue and not failure, right? I could do another one, but I'm going to have to ask for help for other muscles. My form is going to get compromised. And again, I'm not working my bicep anymore, so I'm not going to get the result I want. That's more going into the strength department, where you're using lots of muscles at the same time. If all of this is feeling like a lot, remember you can always sign up for a one-on-one call with me and we can go over all of this. But choosing a weight where you get to 8 and you sure as heck do not want to do number 9. Now let's talk about how many sets to do. I said 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. So a lot of people, they will do their 8 reps at that weight and then they'll go right back into it and they can't do it again. You can, without a doubt, replicate the same weight and the same reps if you wait the appropriate amount of time. Something that we also don't understand, and why I got my master's degree in exercise physiology, is that your muscle is using a different fuel source depending on how many reps it's doing. And that every single fuel source takes a different amount of time to refuel so that you can do that set again. We do not want to dishonor our strength and what we're capable of simply because we didn't rest long enough. And so when you are doing a power exercise so incredibly heavy that you can only do about 1 to 3 reps, you'll need to wait about 5 minutes in between those sets in order to replicate that effort on the next set. So it's okay to be on your phone. When you are doing a strength exercise, you're going to be waiting about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes. When you're doing hypertrophy, it's about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes that you'll be waiting to refuel your glycogen stores and your creatine. And if you're doing endurance training and that's something you want to work on, is better endurance, this is typically going to be for older populations where just getting up the stairs is challenging, that repetitive up, up, up. We're going to wait 30 seconds because we're not using a fuel source that takes very long to replenish itself, and we want to train that repeated endurance. So moral of the story is, if you wait 60 to 90 seconds, you can without a doubt do the same amount of reps with the same amount of weight. So don't cheat yourself and don't feel bizarre waiting around. It's okay. So now that we know how many sets and reps and how to choose our weight, now we kind of want to know, what exercises should I be doing in the first place? In my one-on-one coaching app, there are plenty of workout programs, but it's again, in the beginning, what you're comfortable with. I'm personally a very big fan of machines because machines really ensure that you're using the muscle that you're supposed to, right? Because if we are doing let's say a chest press on a machine, we know we're going to be right in this range, versus dumbbells, we're going to be working a lot on trying to keep things stable. And while that is so important and it's great to build the neuromuscular connection, your brain to body connection, work on imbalances, we first just need to establish the communication line in the first place. And also, a lot of machines do provide the kind of imbalance piece to it. So machines are a great place to start. There should always be an attendant who can show you how to use the machines. But also start to become aware of, if I'm doing this on a machine, what would be the dumbbell version of that? Lying down and doing a dumbbell chest press. Doing a lat pull down is essentially doing a pull-up. So if you say, I can't do pull-ups, that's okay. Do the lat pull down. I have also written an incredible workout program. It's 4 weeks long. I'm working on the second half, but I am going to pre-release the 4-week program to you all. I'll mention it at the end of this chat, and we're getting through it. Now, something to come back to is, a lot of folks who follow me participate in F45 or Orange Theory Fitness, anything that is a HIIT context where you're doing an interval timer. So you don't know how many sets and reps you're doing because you are doing lateral raises, which is one of my favorite shoulder exercises, for 35 seconds, and you're resting for 25 seconds. Now, remember, I mentioned that in order for your body to refuel appropriately, you are going to have to wait about a minute. And so what you'll find is that you may do less reps during that set. You may stop early. You may lower the weight that you're using, or F45 will purposefully manipulate the timing to replicate this concept in an interval context. But something that you need to know is that it is a lot harder to build muscle in a HIIT context, where this is going to be more about burning calories, doing functional movements, where increasing the weight and getting stronger isn't exactly the priority in that session. But there are ways we can manipulate it and approach it, because again, at the end of the day, I'm just happy you're exercising regularly and lifting weights. But there are things that we can do in a regular gym context that have a lot more control variables where you'll see results faster and better. When I mentioned Pilates, the reason why Pilates could still be resistance training, but you're not going to get the results you want, is because in Pilates, we're typically only lifting like 2 to maybe 8-pound weights. Your body is so much stronger than 8-pound weights. And while, yes, some exercises or with some injuries, that might be all you're capable of, so you still might get the result from it, you carry your body around all day. Your body. You squat your body weight down and up. And so to hold a little extra 8 pounds, you're a lot stronger than you think. This is also what irks me when sometimes people will hold bicep curl 10-pound dumbbells and then hold 10-pound dumbbells for their squats. Your legs are so much stronger than your arms. If you look, the muscles are legitimately bigger. So don't cheat your legs just because you're uncertain or unsure of what weight to choose. You are safe, you are strong, and there's always resources to help you. How do we optimize our experience in the gym and after the gym? We're going to talk about pre and post-workout nutrition as we start to wrap this up. When our muscle is squeezing, our muscle is going to use ATP, that's free floating energy. Then it's going to use creatine for a few seconds. We love, love, love creatine. Highly recommend it for anyone touching a weight. And then it's going to use blood sugar. When it runs out of blood sugar, it'll grab stored glucose, stored glycogen, bring it out into the blood. So long story short, you need blood sugar in order to lift weights. Our body needs it. You're going to feel shaky. You're going to feel weak. It's going to take longer to recover in between sets if we don't have blood glucose accessible to us at the beginning of our workout. I know we learn a lot about fasted exercise, but fasted exercise is fine in a cardio context because our body doesn't have free floating energy, so it's going to go grab the stored energy. But again, in a resistance training context, we want to be making our muscles stronger and bigger and giving it the tools it needs to lift heavy enough weights to change. And so we need that initial blood sugar. So all I'm asking that you do is have a very quick carb. This is going to be a Rice Krispie treat. This is going to be maybe half of a really ripe banana. If you are someone who just cannot eat in the morning, even a little bit of creamer in your coffee is enough to get you going. And I don't mean energy like caffeine. And while those stimulants can help you, you're still going to get the shakiness of the muscle because your muscle doesn't have what it needs to complete that muscular contraction, the blood sugar. Now, post-workout, this is an incredibly important topic that a lot of people get misconstrued. Everyone says protein shake after a workout, protein after a workout, and that is very true, but it is not the only thing we need. Two things happen when we exercise. Our muscle is breaking down, but our muscle is also getting completely depleted of our stored glycogen, what I mentioned previously. Our muscle is filled with little glycogen storage units. Glycogen is just glucose, carbs linked together for storage purposes. And all those storage units are empty now. Our muscle cannot rebuild with protein until it refuels with the glycogen, with the carb. It will actually go through a process called gluconeogenesis and turn the protein into carbs so that it can refuel those stores first. So what do? We have protein and we have carbs. So with your protein shake, you may also want that other half of the banana or just a little bit of fruit, maybe some potatoes, something that can get into your muscle. However, I'm going to give you the best recommendation that you're ever going to get when it comes to a post-workout setting, because our muscle is going to continue breaking down until we give it that protein and carb. And you'd be surprised how long it takes to digest whole food or even a regular protein shake. Protein shakes are supposed to digest at the same rate as food. So it keeps us fuller for longer, almost like a meal replacement, right? And so what we really want is a rapid assimilation protein. We want a protein that's been introduced to some digestive enzymes before it was put in the tub so that it just gets into your muscle faster. Otherwise, my muscle is just going to be waiting for me to get home, make my shake, digest it, or my food. And similarly, we'll also want a very fast digesting carb. First Form has created the most incredible post-workout stack where you have that rapid assimilation, fast digesting protein, Formula One, paired with a fast digesting carb ignition. Every single carb you eat in a post-workout setting, if you worked hard, is going to go straight into the muscle and you do not have to worry about it getting stored as fat. So I'm going to link the post-workout stack at the bottom of this video, and it will change everything about your results, your recovery, and how you feel, especially with the vitamins and the electrolytes and everything else. Significantly less soreness. Just trust your girl, okay? I also wanted to plug in my FIT Physique program. I have 4 weeks of it written. I'm pre-releasing it to you all. This is an incredible 5 workouts that you'll put on rotation for 4 weeks in a classic gym setting. They are very to the point, accessible workouts that are very sustainable across 4 weeks and beyond if you want to keep going, where you're going to hit every body part and also have some cardio at the end of each day. This is an amazing program, and I am so psyched to put it out to the world after I've tested it out and seen amazing results from it. And you are going to be working in that 3 sets of 8 to 12 rep range. You can also get some free workout ideas in my highlight reel workouts on my Instagram at Jess Lee Lifts. So go ahead and check that out. Again, I am here for you guys in any capacity. I care about you. It is my mission to help people improve their health and fitness in a way that's sustainable, that they don't resent, so they can continue to live their life, but live a so much better version of it in their career, in their relationships as parents, and just their relationship with themselves. And you've already made a step by listening to this video. I love you. I care about you. Let's lift today. Bye.